Okay, this fella here is a newer snowblower. It's got what they call the Power More engine. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Electric start 179. It's an MTD. And I'll get a close up on that. That's what he is. Anyway, it's a great running little rig. Starts right up and runs beautiful. Neat a thing. However, a guy was snow blowing his front laneway and smacked up against something real hard, and it took the tranny out for the auger, which I have in the shop right now and I'm rebuilding. So I split it. I'll go over the details on that in a bit, but that's a great running little rig, and we'll go from there. Just so happens that I ran across this one for 50 bucks, and between the two of them, here's the tranny right here for this guy, and I was able to get that brass gear out of there because what I ended up having to do is not like I like to do, but I had to cut that shaft in two right there, as you can see it. I had to cut it off because this guy is so frozen onto the shaft, these augers, that you can't get them off. You can't get them apart. They're so frozen. It's set in water, and as you can see by the rest of the hood, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Part 3. This is the old gear. It, as you can see, it just skinned it right out. Anyway, that was the new gear. Alrighty, this is just a recap on the tranny, the Auger Tranny. This up in Canada, this is what we use, Permatex white lithium. This is all weather grease, and though this doesn't turn all that fast, it kind of does. It does. This part spins, but these parts here going out here, this axle for instance right here, that's the gear there. It's not that fast, but these pins are really important. This guy and this guy here, they're supposed to snap off if these guys come up against something solid and they stop. And when that doesn't happen, as a matter of fact, that is what does happen. That gear is smoldered. It's just eaten right off, and there's like a couple teeth here that didn't get caked, even though they're rounded over and they're messed up. That is like a really nice piece of brass, and it didn't last long. So that's what ends up happening. And sometimes perhaps when guys change them pins, them shear pins out for bolts, that's not what happened here. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but anyway, I'm just in the process of whipping this back together, and as I go, I'll take shots here and there. This stuff here, this old junk, is basically, again, up in Canada here, we got forma gasket. This is blue. There's black. I've got another one here, ultra black. It's good stuff for engine casings and stuff. Gasket maker. And what we do is we'll put this together, but all this crap has got to get cleaned off of here first. And then what I'm thinking about doing right here, one of these guys here is actually how they're doing her. just kind of, well, down in the muck. Anyway, it's supposed to go in there and plug that, but I think what I'm going to do is actually try to put a grease fitting in there. And I think that would probably be a good idea. So, and it'll match up with this side of the case too under here. But right now what I'm going to do is get this crap cleared off of here, and then I'm going to give it another dose all the way around with this stuff here, like that, nicely. And seal her up, put her together. Not forgetting, of course, whoop, I wanted you to see that too, was in here, there's that little shear pin. I don't have anything to point with. Anyway, it's on this gear here, right there. That's what drives that. And then on the other side of this, under here, can't see it of course, but in under here is the same as a washer here like this. There's another one on the other side, and of course put that together. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, and being careful of course not to, just to get the junk off of there, but not, you know, not making scrapings, like digging like that or slicing like that. Being very careful not to mark this face with any kind of grooves, but just going along lightly. This stuff should come off anyway. Yeah, see it? It's just real easy. There. Just stuff like that. Just clean her up nice. Just a thought too, fellers. I see the seal that's right here is the matching place right here. So I think what a guy should do is put not, I'm going to try if I can point instead. Yeah, I got this tool, which is a flashlight. Anyway, put some sealant in there, but not here. And then again too, stopping about, say there, going that way, and starting again maybe about here, going this way. So that when that squeezes out, when the cases go together, I think the person should put something in there so that you can pull it back out and extract this stuff. If it happens to get down in there, that's got to be clear. And it's probably easier to do when it's wet and you can move it. I'm going to go ahead and do that now then. Okay, I got this. It actually, this stuff ended up coming out kind of brown red, and that's it there, around the edge, all the way around, squeezed out nicely, all the way around that seal at the front, which is mostly important, I think. And I just made sure I had my washers in place so that it turned the right way, and it's really hard to shoot without a stand, but anyways, I pull it together, but I'm gonna try as best I can. There we are, she's coming together nicely. And as you can see it, squeezing out. Gracious. Okay, and that tightened up a lot better. Now, as this is turning, give it a few winds. All right, back together, and this looks the way it should. This down in here is clear. As I say, I stayed back a little bit. Sorry about the focus, guys. There we are. Okay, now I did stay back and there wasn't hardly any in there. However, I could see where it mushed from here into there and this side from there over to here. So we're good. And all the way around, everything looks as it should. It squeezed out all the way. So, and this is turning appropriately. So good to go. Gonna carry on, get her back together and get her done here. Get her on. Snow's coming. Now, I don't know if you fellas can see it or not, but when I took these off, I left the order as it was. You can duplicate from this side. You see this guy, he goes on, and then there's one of these little fellas, I think, probably looks like he went and slipped on there, because I see right there, down in there, one of them little sort of crinkle bushings. It's got this stuff in it. Anyway, now, it could be. What I did with these, as I took them off, I don't know if you can see that, but I wrote inner, outside. So meaning this was the inner one, and this side, in fact, was the outside that stood out. That's my manner of thinking, which is probably deranged, but anyway. And then I wrote this one, the outer outside. I've written that on there with a pen. There, outer outside. So this one on lastly. Anyway, I'll put him over to the side for now. Anti-seize, okay, a little daub along here, all the way along, everywhere. Paste that up so that these guys can slide right in and on where they should. There they are, and then they'll always come off. Now, that, I think, is what these bushings here are supposed to help with. But, like that other one I took the parts from, man, they got so frozen in that there was no getting them out. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure. This pin is just about euchred, so I'm thinking it's probably not going to go in there. I'll try, but I doubt it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll exchange that. I got some new ones in the drawer here. Now, out on the outer edge, doesn't hurt, put a little more of this. Anti-seize. Okay, now, there's one of them big washers right there, and then this guy is kind of a octagonal, you know, sort of a stop sign shape, octagonal, whatever. It goes on, and then this guy, the outside bearing bracket sort of thing, goes on like that. So that when it tightens up against the side, that's all moving nice, and that's free and clear. And there's two bolts, one here, goes through the box, right here, right there, goes in like that, and tightens to this guy, holds it in place. I'm just going to do that now, and I'll get a shot of that when I'm ready there. Same on the other end. Anyway, I'll be back. Alrighty, we got them snugged up, both sides. Over here, same. Okay, now I'm thinking, Buddy had a blacktop laneway, asphalt, and he cut her down pretty fine. I'm thinking these guys need to be raised up just a shade. This one and this one. This guy here, because they're pretty much level with the bottom of the bucket. So I'm thinking they, you know, for my gravel laneway, I'll raise them up a little bit like that. That's these two screws and bolts, nuts. I'll fix that later. But being this part now, I found this guy, which is here, and I believe goes on that spline shaft nicely, just like that. Okay, and everything's spinning freely and moving nice. And then this guy, looks like they put a little bit of Loctite on there. Now, this washer, again, looks like it was cupped. If I look across there, that surface, it's hard in the light and in the non-light. But anyway, I'm thinking that side, I can see, again, being a detective, lawnmower detective, like pterodactyl says, around the outside I can see a little mark right there, and then I can see this mark in here. which is from the shaft, and then this side is from the outside ring. And on this side, when I flip it over, all I can see is where the bolt went down on there. And that's it. So I'm assuming, which I know, don't assume nothing, you know what that means. And tighten that down, and then she's ready to go back on. Now, these two parts are ready to go together. But I see down here, there isn't an awful lot of grease and stuff on that, so I'm going to fix that up. I'm going to do that right now, because I want that nice and lubed so that there's no funny business when it comes time to, you know. Now, this guy too has sort of a tranny in it that's like one of those guys. It's like that, like the front wheel drive of a push lawnmower has one of them trannies in it. That's what drives it. And you do the handle thing up there. That's what drives it and turns it on and off. So it doesn't have the plate and that other friction plate sort of thing that rubs up against it. So it's just so there's no sliding apparatus along a shaft like that. This one, just grease that and we're good to go. So I'm going to do that, and then basically our two bolts, 1, 2, and 3 and 4, and they're here and here, here and here, and here and here, and that'll slip that together. And I got the belt right here. That should probably go on before I begin putting that together, so I'm going to do that too. I'll be back. Okay, going back together. There we are. And the belt's on. And this guy works right here. Squeezes on the pulley, tightens the belt, and that's this handle operation here. And it's all good. Done. Okay, all back together. These bearing brackets, they went in nicely, and these fellas are the right way too. As they were marked, they should turn and go in and bring the snow into that part. This side is the opposite. Goes here and goes this way, and it brings the snow this way. And that's that. Okay, I said I was going to adjust these down. So I think what I'll do, I don't know. Just try it, see what happens. Seek that off a little bit. Seek this one off a little bit. Oop. Out she went. Hey, no. Yeah. Yeah, that pencil line did go there. What do you know? It's hard to see with this, but anyway, I'll adjust that. Now, say I'm going to go there just a shade, just down. You can see my pencil mark that was there. I'm going to try that. Yeah, looks pretty good. The level. Just enough. We'll try that, see what happens. There, okay. I'm going to do the other side. Turn this little fella this way. And Oh, yep, hang on. Pencil mark first. Okay. Now, some backwards handed here, but anyway. Okay. Pretty good. Now, they're 13 mil. So, just down a shade right there. Oh, a little too snug. Okay. There we are. Okay. About there. Right arm. You hear the difference in the socket, in the wrench and everything. When they come up tight, you can hear it. Anyway, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can see that. Yeah, see? Not bad. It down a little bit more. Should have went a bit more, but that side's about the same. Just, you know, 1/8 of an inch or something, 1/4 of an inch. It ain't rocket science anyways, but... And our new tranny is in. Good. Hold on. I'm noticing my handle is really loose. So I'm going to pop the tire off. I see the bolts down there. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to pop the tire off. I think I'll just use a 13 wrench and just sneak down alongside there and snug them in. Because that's all that is. They don't have to come off. And I guess maybe one of the old rules is if you don't make a big palaver out of everything, you don't have to. Why do it? So don't fix what ain't broke. Let's go with that. There's not a lot of snow, but there's enough to see. Anyway, I gotta do this on my own. So I'll try to keep the jitter into it all low. Not a lot of snow, but anyway. But it works nice. Throws her out. Picking up mostly dirt.